Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and Thor Love and Thunder released a batch of official posters giving us some interesting insights of what Taika Waititi has in store for this movie, including some recurring symbolism that recontextualizes some mysterious shots from the trailer, and yeah, why this movie seems a bit obsessed with the cast's anatomy. I mean, so are we, based on the YouTube metrics showing what part of the May trailer viewers rewatch the most. I mean, look at that bulge! Also, the sudden view increase! But I suspect something deeper is going on here, intentional by the filmmakers. And thanks to Truebill for sponsoring today's video, more about them later. Okay, Thor Love and Thunder released 11 new posters, including 7 character posters from the studio, and then an IMAX poster, a RealD 3D poster, a Dolby poster, and a Screen X poster. But before we dig into these, we really should talk about how unusual the marketing for Thor Love and Thunder has been. For Marvel Studios' other Phase 4 theatrical releases after theaters reopened post-pandemic shutdowns, including Shang-Chi, Eternals, and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, I'm including Spider-Man No Way Home because Sony did the marketing for that, not Disney/Marvel. But for those other MCU titles, Marvel Studios followed a proven playbook. A teaser trailer 5 months out, a more revelatory trailer with new footage 2 months out, and then in the final month, a final promo when tickets go on sale, followed by near daily TV spots and social media promos teasing bits and pieces of new footage until the release. Thor Love and Thunder has taken a different path. Its first trailer broke records for the closest to the release date the studio had waited to release its first teaser. Its successive promos have shown limited new footage, each one resampling Guns N' Roses' Sweet Child of Mine, and little revealed beyond, here's a guy who wants to kill gods for some reason. And the plot detail that the comics are most known for, Jane Foster's cancer, shown nowhere in any of the footage. Now, to be clear, I actually love this as a fan. Like, I prefer when trailers don't reveal too much. I think we knew way too much going into Multiverse of Madness, from Professor X to Captain Carter, to most of the alternate universes visited in that movie shown ahead of time in promos. I know it seems like my life here at New Rockstars is feasting on trailer footage, but to be honest, there's always plenty of us to talk about regardless of how much a studio wants to market its movie. So as a follower of the film industry, I just find it interesting from a marketing standpoint. Marvel Studios marketing is really part of their narrative process. Every Marvel movie is really the second act of a 3-act event. Act 1, the hype leading up to a movie, Act 2, the movie itself, and then Act 3, the post-credit scene and the celebration thereafter. So strategic reveals are always built into trailers in order to build hype so that the must-see word-of-mouth shockwave spreads to the second weekend and the third weekend audiences, which by then the studio hopes to have recouped its production and marketing costs and then begin to purely profit. Kids and families are more likely to see movies in the second and third weeks. They're really the ones who buy the most toys and merchandise, which is where Disney makes most of its money from this IP. Let's be honest, this is all to sell toys. So really, it's a major prerogative of Disney for these titles to not just come and go like typical summer action movies, but really for them to be 8-week media events that blanket social media and advertising channels. Now, one could argue that with Thor Love and Thunder, this particular cast and crew requires less of a hype machine. I mean, if you're watching this video, you're probably gonna see this movie anyway. You didn't need a trailer to tell you that. But despite that, Marvel Studios rarely takes that risk. The trailers aren't just for you and me, it's for like your brother-in-law or your cousin who might not see a Marvel movie otherwise. They're the ones Disney is counting on to see these movies. And so the hype machine is really essential. Like, think about it, the hype between Infinity War and Endgame was already at peak frenzy. They didn't need to release trailers for that, but they still did. And they were very strategic about it. They spared no expense. And if you remember back to March 2019, April 2019, there were constant promos for that movie, and they played a huge role in making Endgame the biggest movie of all time. And the Endgame marketing also proved that you can hype the hell out of a movie without your promos spoiling anything. Remember, Endgame promos revealed nothing about the time heist, about Smart Hulk, Fat Thor, or any of the final battle highlights. So the withholding of trailer footage really doesn't have that much to do with avoiding spoiling a movie. You could still show a lot of a movie and then use things like deceptive editing and VFX to avoid spoiling anything. And really, the marketing for Thor Love and Thunder seems scaled in even in comparison to Thor Ragnarok, which opened with the teaser set to Led Zeppelin's Immigrant Song 7 months out, and then had a meaty trailer at Comic-Con 4 months before the release, with different music, all new footage mostly, and then a full marketing blitzkrieg in October 2017. So as an outside observer who reads way too much into media budgets and news cycles, one might conclude that Disney might have overspent its second quarter marketing budget on Multiverse of Madness, got a little pushback for revealing too much in those movies' trailers, and now just seems to have shifted to an overall less is more strategy for Thor Love and Thunder. All of this is a way of saying Thor Love and Thunder has a few big things up its sleeve that it does not want to show in the marketing for the film, for a mix of narrative and marketing reasons, and these new posters, God bless them, begin to get at why. But I gotta ask you, are you saving up for a big trip this summer? Or maybe you're looking to do some projects around the house that require you to have a little extra cash on hand, or perhaps you just want to save a little extra for your future. Well, Truebill is here to help. Truebill is an all-in-one finance platform that helps you save more and spend less. The personal finance manager allows you to manage subscriptions, lower bills, monitor your credit score, and build your savings all in one place. Several of us here at New Rockstars have used Truebill to help us better manage our finances. Truebill has helped off-screen producer Brandon cancel unwanted subscriptions by safely and securely identifying recurring charges and canceling those unwanted subscriptions with just a tap. No need to try to hunt down the cancel button on a complicated website. Truebill does all the hard work for you. Also, by simply uploading a photo and tapping a button, Truebill can negotiate your bills for you, from internet service bills to cable and phone bills. They also monitor your credit score. Truebill will alert you of important charges that impact your score and offers you insights on ways to improve it. They do all of this and so much more. Most importantly, it is safe to use. Truebill does not store your online banking credentials, and it does not sell your information to anyone. To try Truebill out for free and unlock more features with premium, head to truebill.com/newrockstars or click the link in the video description. Marvel Studios released 7 character posters, each one with a similar background of waterfalls over a Nordic fjord with lightning streaking through and a planet with a moon in the sky behind them. One for Thor Odinson, one for Mighty Thor Jane Foster, one for Gorr, one for Valkyrie, one for Korg, one for Zeus, and one for Thor's goats, Tooth Gnasher and Tooth Grinder. These goats can also be seen pulling Thor's Viking boat in all the posters except one, Gorr's, where the background sky is particularly red. Then there are 4 more posters, one for IMAX, one for Realty 3D, one for Dolby, and one for Screen X. And the IMAX poster also features this looming planet behind them, but no moon, which might mean that currently in the foreground they are standing on that moon, and on this landscape on the left and the right side are just some interesting curved statue pieces, suggesting that this is some setting that we will see in the movie. So is the planet just cosmic background decor for the poster art? Maybe, but footage for Thor Love and Thunder also keeps coming back to this lonely planet. One scene through a rift in space that a crag floats into, another shot of Thor's boat floating toward a planet whose surface seems to ice over as he approaches, a shot of a moon getting broken apart from blue lightning, and various shots of Gorr and Valkyrie and Thor fighting on a desaturated, broken lunar landscape. And I keep getting hung up on Gorr saying in a recent promo, "The world will be better without gods." And the fact that he just uses a singular world in that sentence, and that this guy has pronounced a vow to kill all gods, just make me wonder if Gorr is not so much of a kamikaze force, but more of a religious revolutionary who might be interested in constructing his own world, his own planet, outside of the jurisdiction of the Marvel gods. That could be the world much of this movie takes place on, in a setting that they don't really show too much of in marketing material, hinted at in the art of these posters. Now, the real D3D poster is just a shot of Thor's arm focusing on his tattoo. Thor's ink seems to be of particular importance to this movie's plot, or at least something the filmmakers expect us to be interested in. You'll remember in the trailer, Zeus flicks off his disguise and we see Thor's back covered in tattoos, including R.I.P. Loki. There's also a tattoo of a broken heart, which I'm pretty sure represents his heartbreak over Jane. And yeah, coming back to that other detail, left out of almost all the marketing is the fact that Jane Foster in this story has cancer, coming from Jason Aaron's Mighty Thor comics. Natalie Portman confirmed this in one interview with Yahoo back in 2020, and not once since. Now I get it, cancer is a bit of a downer, but hey, cancer did not stop The Fault in Our Stars from beating Tom Cruise at the box office in 2014. Audiences are not afraid of cancer being in their movies, but I think it is being left out of the marketing because Jane's health is a reason why she broke up with Thor, and that reveal might be something they want to save for the movie. This is just me speculating. I have not seen the movie yet, obviously, but Portman also confirmed in an interview with D23 magazine that this film will flash back to why she and Thor broke up. A bit of a mystery throughout phase 3, and maybe we're gonna learn that prolonged exposure between a human and an Asgardian is something no human body is really designed to handle. Maybe even a barrier put in place between tiers of godly status in the Marvel universe by the cosmic beings to keep these tiers separate. A cruel thing to do, but hey, gods mating with humans, as Zeus has proved throughout Greek mythology, leads to a bit of chaos. This could be why Thor is now with the Guardians, to stay as far away from Jane as possible. And before you say, well, wouldn't the Guardians be exposed? No, none of them are just normal humans. Even Peter Quill is the son of a Celestial. He could hold an Infinity Stone without it destroying his body. He'd be less harmed by Thor's toxic exposure. This could also be why Thor is now surprised and delighted to see Jane elevated to his godly status. He finally has a chance to be with her. So what do you think? Is it Gorr's secret world or Jane's cancer? Which do you think is a likelier reason behind Thor 4's weird marketing? Is the marketing not that weird? I'm overthinking it. Probably. But I'm just saying, as someone who covers a lot of this stuff, there is something different about the marketing on this movie. It's subtle, but it is different. I assume we will all know why on the other side of this movie's release. But in the meantime, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EA Voss, follow New Rockstars, subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything you love. Thanks for watching. Bye.